Hi everyone, my name is Mark and this is my Daddy Diary, episode 6. So I'm going to pick up pretty much where I think I left off last week, where I was talking about sleep, in that Sophie was keeping me awake a lot. This week has been a little bit better. We've had a few nights where she would be up for 3 to 4 hours at a time, just refusing to sleep. But, you know, it's kind of all part and parcel, I guess. There's not really anything we can do about it right now. As much as we'd like her to be in a routine of going to bed at a set time and waking up at a set time for feeds and so on, it's just not, I don't think it's possible. Really, at the moment it's more as and when she needs it, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But whilst mentioning sleep, we were trying to get a bit more of an understanding of maybe her behaviour patterns a little bit, because she did seem to get quite upset a lot last week. And I remembered that Lisa had actually recommended an app, because all the way through the pregnancy we used the Ovia pregnancy app. And obviously that's all kind of finished up now because she's here. Lisa had recommended the Wonder Weeks and I downloaded it and I looked at it way back, but it hadn't really shown anything for where we were. So Lisa actually reminded me of it the other day. I was like, oh yes, I have downloaded it. Went back onto it and actually it was fascinating to read. Between 4.5 and 5.5 weeks old, there's quite a big neurological development that happens, and it kind of lists out what to expect from that, how you can deal with that, and so on, and what kind of changes she's going through. Obviously there's always, you notice the physical changes as she gets bigger and she starts getting more coordinated and things like that. But the neurological developments, obviously you can't see those, but her whole world is changing, and the app is really good for detailing those neurological changes. So obviously I'm not being sponsored or anything like that to say that, but I would definitely, if you want to get a bit more of an insight into their neurological development, how their brain develops, I would definitely check out the Wonder Weeks app, because it really gave us a bit of an insight, and it certainly explained why for that week and a bit she seemed more tetchy than normal or more easily upset than normal. It was fantastic, and obviously now we can look forward as to when the next, they call them like leaps, we can look at when the next leap is going to be, so we almost a little bit more prepared for when her whole world changes again in terms of the way her brain processes all the information around her. It's really fascinating to read and understand. So that was just really on the back of last week and talking about her sleep. Also this week, because she is getting that little bit bigger, we finally were able to put her into one of the little dresses that we'd bought her, the 0 to 3s. So we are just in that transition period now from the newborn clothes into the 0 to 3 clothes, which is pretty good, I think. I think that sounds about right for 6 weeks, so people have told me. And so we're starting to be able to put her in more sort of day clothes rather than sleep suits all the time, which has been really, really nice. That was all in aid of my birthday, which was last week. We went out with friends and her little boy for lunch. We thought it would be really lovely to put Sophie into one of the dresses that we'd got her. That was actually the first dress we bought her the day we found out that we were having a little girl. So it's kind of been sitting in the wardrobe just waiting for the right moment to wear. So it felt fitting that it was the first outfit that she wore. Whilst mentioning my birthday, obviously I got very emotional on the morning of my birthday, because I received my first ever birthday card to Daddy. And yeah, I mean, it's not a major thing, but for me it was a real moment, because, you know, I never thought I'd ever experience that, receiving a card. Obviously she didn't write it or anything like that, but that's kind of not the point. It was the fact that my husband had gone out and he'd bought a gift for me and a card for me from her. The card was absolutely beautiful, and the present, the gift, was perfect, because it's a Jim Shaw Traditions piece from Tangled, which obviously, if you've watched episode 1, you'll know is kind of significant, because the song from Tangled, I See the Light, was the song playing when she was born. and we were still in the car listening to music, driving our way down there. So it was just, it's a perfect gift. I think I'm actually going to put that one into her nursery, because that will be something we can share together as she gets older. So yeah, I had a really great birthday, had a good week. Also, tying into my birthday present, I went and got a new tattoo. Those of you that do know me will know I do love tattoos, and I particularly like to get ones that mark a moment in my life. Sometimes they're quite symbolic of that moment, other times it's just a tattoo that reminds me of that moment. So it felt fitting that obviously with becoming a dad is a pretty monumental moment, so I got a tattoo to mark the occasion, as it were. I chose to get, I wanted something that would obviously be able to show the time and the date and everything, so I went with a pocket watch. I know a lot of people do that, but I wanted something in a more sort of steampunk style. I must admit, I spent 4.5 hours sitting for the tattoo, but it was stinging a lot by the end of it. But I am so happy with the result. That marks the moment for me of when I became a dad. So it's got the date, it's got the time, it's got her name, and it's got her weight all drawn into it. And then finally on Saturday we took Sophie to her first fireworks display. Now, when I say we took her to a fireworks display, we went down to our local seafront where they do a firework display, and we were quite a way up the seafront from it, but we stopped and she slept the entire way through it anyway. I didn't film anything or do anything around it because it didn't feel like that major a thing. At the moment, us taking her out is very much her sleeping whatever we're doing. As time progresses, I'm hoping that I'll be able to include more sort of days out videos to share with everyone and things like that, but at the moment it is very much just me telling you what we've done because there isn't much to see. That kind of wraps up this week. You know, she's 6 weeks old today, which actually marks the start of the next kind of phase of the surrogacy process, as it were. I've mentioned in previous videos, as of today we can apply for a parental order, and what the parental order does is take the parental rights, as it were, or the parental responsibilities from Lisa and her husband, and through the courts they will remove those two names and put mine and Mark's, like my husband, onto the birth certificate, and we get full legal parental responsibility. That could take anything between 6 weeks to 6 months for it to go through. We're hoping that it doesn't take too long, but obviously I spent a few days just making sure I'd done all the paperwork correctly this week, got that all ready, so that is pretty much all ready to go. I'll be able to tell you a bit more about that next week, and also tomorrow we have a health visitor coming, so again I'll be able to give you a bit more of an update on that next week. As always, I will leave you with a few clips of Sophie. And I'm just going to say, I always say it every week, but thank you for watching. Please, 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 if you can, hit the like button and the subscribe button, because that would be really great. Also, don't forget to chuck in some comments if you've got any questions or want to know anything, which is a question. Chuck them in the comments below. I'm always happy to talk to people who are watching. If you've got any suggestions of what you'd like me to do, what kind of videos you'd like to see, chuck them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. So until next week, thank you for watching. Bye!